beat a drink. My old mate that just passed away. I went to the funeral, never sad affair. Model engineering guys, probably quite a few of them know him. Randy. Built a lot of nice steam engines. I used to spend a lot of time in his workshop. He'll be sadly missed. Touching off on the corner now. These screws wouldn't go in. Well, they did. They went in, but only went down a few threads. One was worse than the other, but nothing. I just run an M6 tap down, and all that came out, I don't know if it's down there. There, look. That's what came out. It's just paint. There was just some paint in the holes, so nothing really. But now they're screwing really good. I've actually scribed them now. If you can see those scribe marks, that's where I don't mill anything off the shallow bit, but this deep bit needs milling down, and it needs milling down 1.19 millimeters, which I'll take just off one side, but on both of them. One side only, and then they'll fit into the T-slot, because at the moment they won't fit in my T-slot, you see. It's 1.19 millimeter narrower. I haven't cleaned it since I've been doing this milling, but yes, so I need to take it down to them lines. Actually there's a chamfered edge on there, so I don't have to go right up to that line to get them to drop in. So I need to do them, because it'd be great, wouldn't it, that it were indexed in every time I put it on. I mean, every time I put this one on, I have to you know, start running a line up and down, a DTI up and down the fixed jaw face to get the thing trammed in, if you like, all lined up properly so it's at 90 degrees. Yeah, so I want to get them in. I don't want to not have them, and they've come with it, and it's a nice little addition, isn't it? So let's do it. At least they're not hard. The file these are quite soft or blackened, which made me think they were hard, but they weren't. They're only some form of mild steel, I think. I wanted them to be able to fit in there, otherwise they wouldn't be lined up right. I think that's going to be pretty good. God, they are tight. Happy with them. Just taken that little bit off and left that original there. So, cold tea. So we need to make sure that the notch, we'll do it like that. So we'll give that a try. Nah, one of them's a right little bit. Oh, they both are, aren't they? A bit tight. very tight. Just could do with this stuff. So my back edge, I'll show you. It's bang on that. My original one, that's just a waste, isn't it? This one don't stick out any further, and it don't stick out past my DRO scale, so I'll still get the full amount that I had before, albeit slightly reduced by this. That's great. Don't stick out any further either. Happy with that. But everything else seems fine. I'm saying I don't know whether to strip this down. It wouldn't take much getting apart, just to check this holding thing in here, that they say that you can mill it a little bit smoother and the grip better. So maybe do that before I fit it, and then it's done, and don't have to do anything anymore. So far the Arc Euro trade, and others have no doubt, SG iron, nodular iron, or whatever you call it, precision 100mm vice is so far, I think, damn good value for money. If you're to buy the Atwood now, you won't probably get much change out of £500, maybe £450. I'm not saying that ain't better, it's just they're very expensive. Made in China, but fair to them, they haven't done a bad job. I can't knock it, there's no I can pull it on. I've cleaned off the burrs, and the screw holes I've tapped out a little bit. Other than that, everything seems fine. That one fits now. I just needed to stone a bit off edge. See how this one fits that way around. Yep. Okay, I've come up to my first disappointment, really, I suppose I can say. I got the two keyways fit, I fitted it on the bed. It looked great. I thought it doesn't look square on that bed. I've got a Rayborn Chesterman square, which I know is bang on. I've also got a Moore and Wright that I know is pretty much bang on, although it's an adjustable square, so you can never be sure with them. However, let's have a look. When I put this on here, square on, which is a machined edge, and run it carefully up to them slots. That first slot now is completely perfectly covered, that one isn't. So I've got a movement like that, which means I can't use the keys that came with it in the standard form. I'd have to do something. I'd have to make a set of offset keys and fix them permanently for that to work. You'd have thought, wouldn't you, that, yeah, I mean, look at that. That's right up to that edge. There's a gap there. You can see the shiny metal showing there. It's out of square. They haven't machined that slot square to the bedway of that, which is really sad, isn't it? Okay, so a continuation of this. As I said, that the slot that's been milled in the bottom of this this vise is slightly out of line, and it is. It's not a lot, but slightly. So what have I done? I've sorted it. So if you watch this, I'll slide that up there. That's bang on. And it's basically, I've filed the keyways. Maybe that's what you meant to do, I don't know. Somebody's probably going to reply and tell me that that's what you do, and that they're only a rough guide, and maybe they are. But yeah, a little bit of filing and that's sorted. So really all I did was I filed these keyways to make them fit in there, but I've actually taken some off the back as well so that I can move them around a little bit. But we'll see when we get it on and I get dial gauge on and clamp it down and tap it around. But I'm quite happy now. Only thing left to do, as I say, is to cut those holders down and take this top off and have a look inside. Okay. Right, so what have I done? Took off the jaw, kept it that way so I can get it back on in exactly the same spot. 2 M6 Allen screws hold the jaw face on. Then the back, there's an Allen screw here that screws in. I've unscrewed it until I can lift off the block, so you're seeing what I'm seeing. I can only describe that as beautifully ground. It's very, very nice. This is rough ground, but to be quite honest with you, that's fine, isn't it? Because you put a little bit of lube on there and there's nothing wrong with that. There is some burrs on there, which I could do with just quite soft. Come on. Whoa. They were tight. Locking washer that's nipped up. M8. Got like a keyway in there, but it's just been braid on tight. What we got in where something soft. My dad's old drift. Yeah. Right, so if I can get this off now. Right, so there's no dovetail because that's your waist there, look. There and there. That looks like that's been taken down a bit further than that one, but would it matter? Now then, so underneath there, that were a right sharp rough casting on one I saw a guy on YouTube do, and he milled it. But you know what? That ain't that bad. Arcuro said that you can play around with them and get them better, but to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with that. That'll rub nicely on that pad. No, I'm going to put that back together. A little bit dry is that thread. I could do with putting some grease on that, but the only trouble is there's no protection on this this vise, in that when you're milling you're going to end up with swarf going down it between the jaws and at the end here, and this thing's going to get full in no time at all. How you did do anything about that I don't know, unless you put some sort of waste cover on it, I don't know. So do I grease it or don't I, because it's probably got some graphite on there. I don't think grease is a good idea because it's going to get stuck up with swarf. Is it maybe better off slightly dry and just graphite? I think so. I'll wear my fingers out, aren't I? See if I can match it with the other one. So far, quite a well made little thing. 112 quid from Archeoro. Can't knock the price. So that, yeah, that just pushes against it. Right, right, you see it's pulling it back now. Trying it back onto wedge. There you go. And I guess you don't tighten it. I guess you just nip it like that. Let's see. Yep. Bang on, and then I'll pull it apart. I'll lift it right up as high as it'll go, so I can tap it down for a real good quality vise for a milling machine. Or more. I suppose you could spend a foot. I mean, how much is a Kurt? Probably £1,000, I don't know. £112, you can't knock it. No, they've excelled themselves. I did see these for £85, and in fairness to Archeoro Trade, the ones I saw for £85 were in India. Whether they were as good a quality made as this, they looked exactly the same, but you never know. Whether they came out of the same factory, probably not. They're making them in India. Probably not made out of as good a steel, I don't know. But they were 85 quid. That were in India. There'll be import duties now, won't there? For that to come from India, you'd either have a knock on your door or you'd get an email to say you owed 30 or 40 quid for some sort of import tax and VAT and one thing and another. So probably Archeoro Trade is probably one of the cheapest in this country to buy one from. I'm not bulling up Arc because I don't really know them. I know a bloke's called Caton that owns it, or is one of the owners. I don't know whether there's more than one. But he always does a fair deal apparently. And I used to sometimes wonder about his prices, but I couldn't beat it. Couldn't beat that. Absolutely. I did look around, I always do, but brilliant. Yeah, 10 out of 10 there. Well, 9.5 because I had to file it, didn't I? Fettle it a bit. So the next bit to add to this video at the end will be probably doing some machining or setting that face up to see if it does line up properly on the mill. Once I get it in, you know, clock it in, see if I can get it right, and then I'll do the back face. So what I've done here is I've clamped well, I've chopped it to 4 now, so I used the trusty 4-inch angle grinder in end. So some ends are okay, others where I've done the cut, they need dressing up. So I've put the 2 smallest ones in, facing that end, turn them over, face it again, and then I'll match these two to same, because you can see them. I've got my cut quite a way out on that. So I'll get them all down to exactly the same size. There's plenty of meat on them. I mean, they're quite big enough, so that's no problem. You can see why I've put 2 in at a time, because you get equal clamping on your jaws, don't you, that way. Strange, isn't it? When you look at that, you'll see it on the camera from there that it looks all up and down all over, but it's not. It's a lovely cut, is that. I bet if I stuck that on a stone, I bet it'd get it straight off. So I'm going to turn them over now, and then that's where I'll get them level. This was just a clean up side. The other side is to get them level, and then I'll take readings and set a 0, and then this pair can go in because they want quite a lot taking off them. So I'll set it so that I work down to a 0. Lovely. Right, it's the final cut on the first pair of blocks. Somewhere. Right, I've never used this before. I've got an ER collet that'll hold it. I'm assuming that's a chamfering tool. I've never seen one before, but it come in a load of gear. It's a Stelram. Stelram. But I'm assuming that's a chamfering tool, and it'll chamfer them edges. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm sure that's what it's. Right, that's all the 4 done. Hang on. So I don't know whether to chamfer all edges next or drill the 4 holes. I suppose it won't harm to, well, I'm cutting to maybe do all chamfers next. Okay. Stop. Okay, so we've done 4 chamfers on 4 of them. Come on and lock them down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the beds are like on some of the imported milling machines, but I should imagine this bed's quite tough, but you don't want to pull a T-bolt through, would you? By over tightening it. Right, that's how far we've got. Fairly new drill this. The dormer as well. Very good quality. Good things. Chucking guillotine. Sharp there, bit of a tickle all the way around when they're ready. I've got some chemical blue stuff. I've never used it. Oh, I say I've never used it. I'm not sure if I didn't try it on someone it wasn't successful. That's it. For guns. So I'm going to give it a go. It's blackening, isn't it? I need to mega clean them, so I'm going to do all I need to do on those by fettling them up ready, and then either acetone or brake cleaner, and give them a right good clean, and then take it from there. Right, one of them old downs didn't black up so well, and it's my own fault because I didn't fettle it enough. But all the other ones have, they've cleaned up lovely. We have black and grey. Right, so Martina. So what I've done is I've put a mag base onto the dovetail of the knee, if you like, the main casting, and that's fastened solid. And then I've got this little Mercer. I'm not too sure, is it a Mercer? Yeah, I'm not too sure how good it is, but it should give us an idea. That's not touching, so let's just bring it back till it does. Put some pressure on it, and let's take it to one end. If I bring it back till it gets to 0, save me touching it. Right. Right. See where we go. And bear in mind it's only just been put on with a square, so it's going to be out. Isn't it? No. That's 1/10 of a thou. No, it can't be right. So take it off end, there you go. I've got to spray it now. God. I'm amazed. This is, there's no cheating here, because I got my little knocking stick out ready to tap it around. But we're just putting a square on it. So that's good. Very, very, very good. So let's have a look at something else. What about the top of it? Let's see if I can make this work on top. Look at that, bang on 0. Now let's run across that face then. Now I've got a bit of run out there, look. But all is not lost on that, because I could move them. No 0.005, so that's a 1/10. It's not thous. This is where I get lost. Anyway, we're just using numbers, aren't we? So in that length we've gone 15 or whatever they are. Is that 1.5 thou, I think. So that's risen, so that wants to go down. That's 1/10 of a thou. What do I call it, a micron? Oh my god, how am I going to get that? Beautiful. Lovely. That's great. So that's that done. I could get 5 degrees out. Showing 5. Oh, not 0. It's so close. Pretty much same. Let me take a 0 on here. Let me create a false 0. It's showing 0, but right. Yeah. That's half a degree it keeps going, doesn't it? So that and that are pretty much parallel. The jaws are parallel. Pretty happy with that. And of course we've got to do the back face of the fixed jaw. So that's the left hand side, and we'll do the right hand side as well, just to see if they're okay. Oh, don't look bad. A little bit of wavering about, but no, I'm happy with that. So that one's okay. So we'll move that across to the right hand side. No, that's okay. So let's do the up and down on this one. I'll wind it back up by hand. Right. No, there's nothing wrong with that, mate. There is. I went wrong side out. Do it that way so you can see it. Piece of paper underneath, and lay that on it, and then tighten up, and technically it should pull down onto that piece of paper. In fairness, I didn't push my work down, so let me do that. Right. Now then, I know for a fact that would have come out on the other one. That's gripped really tight, it's pulled down on it. Because I always get a loose parallel at the back, and you get your copper hammer, don't you, your Thor hammer, and tap it down until it grips it, that is. So let's slacken it and prove it. As I slacken it. Proof. It does work, the clamping action. Brilliant. That's going to be loads better, because a few times I've put a block of steel in there. I've tightened it down and braided it down and it hasn't been square, and I've thought it has, and I've milked top of it, then I've turned it around and it hasn't been square. That's guaranteed, isn't it, that just about every time it's going to be square as long as you take care. Brilliant. Thank you for watching. Stevie GTR, anything garage, let's give it a shot. There'll be lots more videos. I know some people don't particularly like them, but we've got a lot to do. And if this weather gets better, this is just a little add-on. really, to the new Vice, Chinese Vice from Arcuro Trade. I always had bed protectors on, but the one that I had originally excuse me, was cut for the abwood and it was round, so I started trimming it up and then thought, what the hell, let's make new ones. I know most people know what they're doing with a bit of wood, but there's some that maybe find this a bit interesting. So in case you know that when you're milling, especially with a cutter like this one, you're going to get swarf everywhere, and it gets down obviously in your T-slots, and it's a cow bag to clean out. So these are quite simple to make. I mean, this is just a piece of plywood. I think it's 12mm ply. Some that I had over for when they did my koi fish pond. I just had loads of scrap ends. And basically I've just put a piece of ply that way that fits in one of the slots, the middle one in this case, just to locate it. So if you want to use the bed, but when you're not using it, it's quite a simple case of just dropping them on. And the amount of cleaning it saves is amazing. I mean, obviously you get swarf everywhere else, and all over the floor too, but at least it saves the laid bed from getting covered in crap. Yeah, a simple, very simple addition, and cost nothing to make. And there you go. Just thought I'd add that on.